Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into the technology and, maybe more importantly, the culture that's been built around one single app, Apple's iMessage. Because let's be honest, it's so much more than just a way to send texts, right? It's a whole social and technological world.
Okay, let's just get right to the heart of it, because this is the question that starts everything. Blue or green? For millions and millions of people, the color of a text bubble isn't just some random design choice. Oh no, it's a signal. It's a status symbol, and believe it or not, it's a source of some very real social anxiety.
Yeah, we're talking about the blue bubble divide. And this goes way, way beyond just how things look on your screen. This is a deep-seated social and technological gap, a feature so powerful it can literally define who's in and who's out of a social circle.
And hey, don't just take my word for it. This is not an exaggeration. We've seen major outlets like the Wall Street Journal run headlines like this one: "Teens dread the green text bubble." It's a real phenomenon. This color difference creates actual social pressure, especially for younger people who are just trying to fit in, and they're terrified of being that one green bubble in the group chat.
So what's really going on behind the scenes here? What is the actual difference? Well, it is a huge functional gap. You see, the blue bubbles, that's iMessage. That means you get all the good stuff: end-to-end encryption, read receipts, those little typing indicators, high-quality photos and videos. The green bubbles, that means your phone has fallen back to the old, clunky, and way less secure SMS technology. It's not just a color change. It is a completely different and frankly much worse experience.
So why does this matter so much, especially to teens? Well, just take a look at these numbers. A 2023 survey found that a staggering 87% of teenagers in the US own an iPhone. 87%. When a platform is that dominant in your social group, being the one person who isn't on it makes you stick out like a sore thumb. And that little green text bubble, that becomes the dead giveaway.
But how in the world did we get here? To really understand the power that is locked inside that little blue bubble, we need to hop in a time machine and rewind to a world before iMessage was even a thing.
Do you remember this? Before 2011, texting wasn't this seamless, free thing we do all day. It was this clunky utility that was completely controlled by the cell carriers. You often had to pay per text. You had that tiny 160-character limit, and trying to send a picture, oh man, that was slow, it was expensive, and the quality was just awful. It was the complete opposite of seamless.
And then Apple made its move. This timeline right here really shows their brilliant long-term strategy. iMessage launches in 2011, and at first, it's just a simple, free way to get around paying for SMS. But then it expands to the Mac, creating this unified ecosystem. Then, in 2016, it becomes its own platform with apps and stickers. Now they're rolling out things like post-quantum encryption. You can literally see them step by step building this incredible defensive moat around their products for over a decade.
So let's peek behind the curtain. What's the secret sauce? What is the technology that makes this walled garden, as everyone calls it, so powerful and so exclusive? Let's take a look at the architecture.
It all happens in the blink of an eye, and it's actually a pretty simple four-step process. When you hit send, your phone instantly pings Apple's servers and basically asks one question. Hey, is this person one of us? Are they in the club? If the server says yes, boom, you get a beautiful encrypted blue iMessage. If the answer is no, well, you get sent out to the old world of SMS, and your bubble turns green.
The magic behind that instant check is a technology called the Apple Push Notification Service, or APNs for short. This is the proprietary engine that's running the whole show. And because Apple controls it completely, they can create this constant, secure link between their servers and every single iPhone, iPad, and Mac out there. That is what creates that seamless experience. It is the very foundation of the walled garden.
But, when you build a technical achievement that's this powerful and this exclusive, it's going to stir up some major debates. So let's get into the controversies that are swirling around iMessage today.
And these are not small debates. We're talking about huge issues here. First, there's the big one: vendor lock-in. That's the whole business strategy of making an ecosystem so sticky that it's just really, really hard for users to leave. By making iMessage so desirable, it makes it that much harder for you to switch to Android because you know you'd lose your blue bubbles. Then you have questions about security, you have intense regulatory pressure from governments, and this constant cat-and-mouse game with apps that keep trying to bridge that Android divide. Now, when we talk about security, it gets a little complicated. The Electronic Frontier Foundation gives iMessage high marks for its strong encryption. But, and this is a big but,
it fails on a couple of key points for them. The code isn't open source, so no one can independently review it, and you can't truly verify a contact's identity. This really highlights the tension between a system that is secure and a system that is transparently secure.
And this is where the politicians get involved. This quote from Senator Elizabeth Warren really captures the heart of the political argument. She basically frames Apple's decision to block third-party apps as being less about actual user security and more about protecting their profits by limiting competition and forcing people into a less secure alternative. It's a powerful argument.
So what has Apple's own stance been over the years? Well, it's been crystal clear. When CEO Tim Cook was asked how to solve the problem of sending photos to his Android-using mom, his answer was simple and now famous. Buy your mom an iPhone. That says everything, doesn't it? It perfectly encapsulates Apple's strategy. The solution to the walled garden isn't to build bridges, it's to get more people inside the walls.
But after years and years of resistance, something is finally starting to change. Apple has announced it's going to support a new standard called RCS. So the question is, what does this actually mean for the green bubble?
So what exactly is this RCS thing? Well, the simplest way to think about it is like SMS version 2.0. It's a modern, universal standard that finally brings those iMessage-like features, typing indicators, high-res photos, read receipts to standard texting. It's the system that Android has already been using for a while now.
And here's the bottom line. In late 2023, Apple finally said it would adopt RCS. This is a big deal. It means that messaging between iPhones and Androids is going to get much, much better. Functionally, the green bubble is going to catch up. But, and you knew there was a but coming, right? Apple has already confirmed those messages will still be green.
And that leaves us with this final, massive question. By adopting the functionality of RCS, but keeping the green color, Apple is opening a door, but just a tiny crack. They're fixing the technical gap, but they're preserving the visual and the social divide. So is this a genuine step toward a more open world? Or is it just a strategic concession to keep the walls of that garden perfectly intact?